Now, the area in which the jinn play the biggest havoc in human life and in the human world is in the area of fortune telling. This is one of the biggest areas. Because human beings have a natural desire to want to know the future. Everybody wants to assure for himself or herself a good life. So knowing what is in the future would then give one an opportunity to ensure for oneself good. So there have been people from the most ancient of times till today who sell information about good. They come under the general heading of fortune tellers. Now, some of them are just guesswork. In fact, probably most of them are just guesswork, games, tricks, etc. But there is a body among them that have given solid and reliable information, pieces of information, which have made people believe in them as having these powers. And those among them that have this type of information, we can understand how they can get this type of information by understanding the world of the jinn and its relationship to us. We have a verse in the Quran, in which, or a number of verses, in which Allah speaks about the fact that the jinn, the class of them who are in the atmosphere and who can move in our world, outside of our world, who go up to the lowest heavens, and there they steal a listening. They listen in on what is discussed amongst the angels. When Allah commands angels, the commands go down through the heavens to the lowest heaven, and as they discuss it amongst themselves, some among the jinn manage to reach up to the level of the lower heavens, not entering it, but up to that level, and hear some of that information. However, they are driven away from that by meteors, comets, etc. And this is recorded in the Quran in Surah Al-Jinn. This is described. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had mentioned that the jinn pass the information back down until it reaches the lips of the magician or fortune teller. Sometimes a meteor may overtake them before they could pass it on. But if they pass it on before being struck, they add to it 100 lies. So the reality is that the information that these people convey will be a mixture of lies and a few truths. What happens with people in general is that when they hear the predictions of a fortune teller, all of the information goes into their subconscious. And the false information, which is not confirmed by having taken place, is forgotten. Whereas the one thing which they tell them, which is true, which takes place, the person remembers that. This is reinforced by the information which was initially given. And then the person will swear by that person. This is a fortune teller of the first class. This is a true fortune teller. So you have somebody like Jean Dixon, died just at the end of last year, who was a favorite fortune teller amongst the presidents of the United States and others. Every year she would give her predictions for the year. It would be in the national newspapers, etc. And people depended on her books, they would study them, etc. But the fact, as I said, for her as well as for people like Nostradamus and others, you'll find that when you look at the totality of what they say, the vast majority of what they mention is false, and there are only a few pieces of information which is actually true. But human beings with that tendency to want to latch on to anything which would indicate knowledge of the future, grab on to that small piece of information, and they end up depending on these people, and in doing so they end up falling into an area of partial disbelief or complete disbelief. The jinn can also help fortune tellers with immediate information, like somebody is coming to them and they may get information about that person before the person reaches there. So you may go to see a fortune teller and he will tell you, or she will tell you, what your name is, what the name of your parents are, how old you are, what country you came from, etc., etc. That type of information is quite easy and quite accurate for them to get. Also, they can give information about things which are over distances, because we know the jinn are able to travel over the earth over huge distances in short spaces of time. We know in the Quran, in Surah Naml, with regards to the Queen of Sheba, when she was coming, Prophet Sulaiman asked one of the jinn to go and get her throne, and he said that he would get it for him before he even got up from the place where he was sitting. Because of the sacrilege and the heresy that is involved in dealing with the jinn, those involved in fortune telling, etc., Islam has taken a very strong stance against it. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was reported by his wife Hafsa to have said, the salah of whoever approaches a fortune teller and asks him anything will not be accepted for 40 days and nights. This is a question out of curiosity. This is not necessarily believing in what they're saying. The salah will not be accepted for 40 days and nights. This includes all of the different forms of fortune telling that are available in our society today. One of the major ways is through the astrological science. In almost every newspaper in the world today, you'll find a page which gives the zodiacal signs, the zodiac, signs of the zodiac, your astrological predictions for the day. If you're Cancer or Taurus or whatever, this is a good day to do this, or a bad day, you shouldn't do this, delay it until tomorrow or whatever. All of that, if one turns to that page, if you're opening the newspaper and you just happen to see it and you keep reading, no problem. You don't read the page, you just pass over it, no problem. But now if you're flipping open that newspaper looking for it, and you're saying, people say, don't read this. You say, I don't believe it. It's just for fun. No. This is no for fun here. This is something very serious. As long as you're opening it and looking to see what your sign is, and you're looking to see what it has to say, then you fall under this statement of the Prophet ﷺ. Your salah is not accepted for 40 days and nights. Now this doesn't mean you've got a vacation for 40 days and nights from prayer. See, some people say, okay, no point. If it's not accepted by Allah for 40 days and nights, no point to be praying. No, because when a person prays, two things takes place. One, they remove from themselves the obligation of prayer. And two, depending on the level of concentration in their prayer, they earn a reward. Right? As Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, some people pray and only a tenth of the prayer is rewarded. Others only a fifth, etc., etc. So, though this is the case, if you read your page, your astrological page today, you still have to continue to pray for the next 40 days, but the value, the reward for the prayer has been lost. Now whoever goes looking for that page believing in what it says, or goes to a fortune teller, palm reader, or whatever, getting their tea leaves read, believing in what the person is saying, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, as reported by Abu Huraira and Al-Hasan, his grandson, whoever approaches a fortune teller and believes what he says has disbelieved in what was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is an act of disbelief. This is how serious Islam regards it.